níbikíbi tó o bá ti ń tẹ́tí sí rédíò àfínjú aago 6 ìrọ̀lẹ́ ti lù.
ẹ bá mi pè é o. àfínjú kí lorúkọ rẹ̀. àfínjú rédíò àfínjú gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ àfínjú gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ àfínjú lórí WhatsApp àfínjú Instagram àfínjú Facebook àfínjú lórí X àfínjú lórí YouTube àfínjú lórí TikTok àfínjú kí lorúkọ rẹ̀ àfínjú ẹ bá mi pè é o. àfínjú rédíò àfínjú gbogbo èèyàn ló ń gbọ́ 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 àfínjú rédíò àfínjú rédíò àfínjú rédíò àfínjú.
Stay informed with news on Radio Afinju.
This is the world news on Radio Afinju.
First, a look at the highlights. INEC announces date for Ekiti and Osun governorship election. Plane carrying Libyan president involved in landing scare. Western Canada wildfire emergency hits another province as thousands flee. Good evening and welcome to the World News on Radio Afinju. My name is Tolulope Awoyale. The news in detail. The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced Saturday, July 20th and Saturday, August 8, 2026 respectively as date for governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states. INEC Chairman Mahmood Yakubu made this known during a swearing-in of 6 newly appointed resident electoral commissioners recently confirmed by National Assembly. It said the conduct of elections in Nigeria is a challenging and sacred responsibility. Yakubu added that the commission is finalizing arrangement for by-elections to fill vacant seats in the national and state houses of assembly. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has overturned the ruling of the Federal High Court in Kano regarding the local government elections conducted in October 2024. The APC had filed a suit with the Federal High Court seeking to stop the elections based on allegations that the chairman of Kano State Independent Electoral Commission, Sani Malum Fashi, alongside some commissioners were card-carrying members of the ruling NNPP. Justice Amobeda ruled in their favor and ordered a halt to the polls, but the elections were conducted regardless. While delivering the judgment, Justice Oyewumi of the Appeal Court stated that the Federal High Court lacked the jurisdiction to entertain the case, let alone deliver a ruling on it. Consequently, the Court of Appeal upheld the appeal filed by the Kano State and affirmed the validity of October polls. The Nigerian Governors Forum has extended its condolences to the government and people of Niger State following the devastating flood that claimed numerous lives and destroyed property in Mokwa local government area. At least 21 people lost their lives and properties worth millions of naira was destroyed in the flood. In a statement from the NGF chairman, Governor Abdulrahman Abdulrazak of Kwara State, the forum expressed shock over the scale of destruction caused by the flood. They commended interventions of the Niger State government and its coordination with the emergency responders to support the victims of this disaster. The NGF also prayed God to console families who have lost loved ones and properties in the Mokwa incident and urged citizens to support the government's effort to mitigate the impact of climate change and to cooperate with agencies working to assist to those in urgent at this time. In a move to strengthen inland water transport, Safety Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, donated a substantial number of life jackets to the Lagos State Waterways Authority, LASWA. The donation ceremony took place at LASWA's headquarters at the 5 Cowries Terminal in Lagos, reinforcing the unwavering commitment of the federal government to establish safe and efficient water transport system nationwide, with a special focus on Lagos State, the busiest waterway hub in the country. The life jacket donation strengthens LASWA's existing safety initiatives and supports Lagos State's ongoing campaign to promote the essential use of life jackets among all waterway users. The event also showcased a live demonstration on the proper use of life jackets, complemented by the intensive public sensitization drive on water safety, coordinated by LASWA in collaboration with agencies such as NIWA, the Marine Police, and officials from the Federal Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy. Elsewhere, flights were temporarily disrupted at Liberia main airport last night after a private jet carrying President Joseph Boakai almost crashed while landing. Authorities said part of the presidential jet landing gear malfunctioned while approaching the runway, causing a rough landing. It was gathered that the incident, which sparked panic at the airport, forced the cancellation of all scheduled flights for the night. President Boakai, who was returning from a trip in Nigeria with his entourage, was safely evacuated unharmed as authorities announced an investigation. In a statement at the Liberia Airport Authority (LAA), confirmed the unfortunate near-accident situation involving presidential jet. In Asia, 4 people jailed in the landmark Hong Kong national security trial of 47 Democrats accused of conspiracy to commit subversion were freed today after more than 4 years behind bars, the second group to be released in a month. Among those freed was the long-time political and LGBTQ activist Jimmy Sham, who also led one of Hong Kong's largest pro-democracy groups, the Civil Human Rights Front, which disbanded in 2021. CHRF was one of the largest pro-democracy groups in the former British colony and helped to organize million-strong marches during pro-democracy protests in 2019 that turned violent at times and had a major impact on business and tourism. The others who were released were Kinder Lee, Roy Tam, and Henry Wong. At the end of April, former pro-democracy lawmaker Claudia Mo, Kwok Kaki, Jeremy Tam, and Gary Fan were released from 3 separate prisons across Hong Kong around dawn. New Zealand is seeking to expand Asia-Pacific military deployment in its quest to show it was now pulling their weight with increased spending on its armed forces. Defense Minister Judith Collins raised the prospect of welcoming increased warship visits to the country deepening joint training and other cooperative efforts with its traditional defense partners, including Australia, the United States, Singapore, Japan, Britain, and the Philippines. In Europe, internet personality Andrew Tate and his brother Tristan will return to Britain to face criminal charges once separate legal proceedings in Romania have been concluded. Britain's Crown Prosecution Service confirmed earlier this week that it had previously authorized charges against the brothers, including rape, actual bodily harm, and human trafficking. The Tates are facing a separate criminal investigation in Romania over trafficking allegations, and the court there have already approved that their extradition to the United Kingdom, although the brothers have denied all the allegations. Andrew Tate, a self-described misogynist who has gained millions of fans by promoting an ultra-masculine lifestyle, separately faces a civil lawsuit in Britain, which has been brought by 4 women and is due to go to trial in 2027. In the Americas, United States Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said United States trade talks with China are a bit stalled and getting the deal over the finish line will likely need to direct involvement of President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. 2 weeks after breakthrough negotiations led by Bessent that resulted in a temporary truce in the trade war between the world's 2 biggest economies, Bessent told reporters that progress since then has been slow, but he said he expects more talks in the next few weeks. The United States and China agreement to dial back triple-digit tariff for 90 days prompted a massive relief rally in global stocks, but it did nothing to address the underlying reasons for Trump's tariff on Chinese goods, mainly long-standing United States complaints about China's state-dominated, export-driven economic model, and leaving those issues for future talks. A wildfire emergency in Western Canada has spread to another province as thousands of people flee their homes. Premier of Saskatchewan, Scott Moe, said the condition that northern resident communities and wildland firefighters are facing today as a severe or quite likely unlike anything faced in quite some times. It was learned that he declared a state of emergency as 14 wildfires raged uncontrollably in the province. A day earlier, 17,000 people were told to flee wildfires in the neighboring province of Manitoba, which declared its own state of emergency. According to the Canadian Interagency Forest Fire Centre, more than 166 fires are actively burning across Canada. Manitoba Premier Wab Kian earlier said the Canadian Armed Forces are being deployed to Manitoba to help move residents and firefight. Ken said many evacuees will be housed at sports venues and community centers in Winnipeg and other cities. In the Middle East, Israeli ministers says 22 new Jewish settlements have been approved in the occupied West Bank, the biggest expansion in decades. According to Defense Minister Israel Katz and Finance Minister Bezalel Smotrich, several already exist as outposts built without government authorization but will now be made legal under Israeli law. Settlements which were widely seen as illegal under international law, though Israel disputes this, are one of the most contentious issues between Israel and the Palestinians. Katz said the move prevents establishment of a Palestinian state that will endanger Israel, while the Palestinian presidency called it a dangerous escalation. The Israeli anti-settlement watchdog Peace now called it the most extensive move of its kind in more than 30 years and warned that it would dramatically reshape the West Bank and entrench the occupation even further. Talking sport. Paris will deploy 5,400 police officers for Saturday's UEFA Champions League final between Paris Saint-Germain and Inter Milan. Police Chief Laurent Nunes said in an interview with reporters that although the match will be held in Munich, a PSG victory would be expected to spark celebrations in the club's home city, which would escalate into disturbances. In light of the incident in Liverpool earlier this week, in a car which plowed into soccer fans, Nunes said traffic around the Arc de Triomphe, one of the city's best-known landmarks, will be blocked from midday Saturday, with the Champs-Élysées Boulevard and nearby streets also closed that evening. PSG's win over Arsenal earlier this month, which secured their place in the final, sparked a night of unrest in Paris, with 47 people arrested and 3 others injured after being hit by a car. A former Royal Marine has been charged following the Liverpool parade crash in which 79 people were injured. Recall Paul Doyle, 53 years old, from Bog Hill Road in West Derby, was arrested on Monday when a car plowed into fans at Liverpool's Premier League victory celebration. Merseyside police said it would appear at Liverpool Magistrates Court. A 9-year-old was among those hurt when the car hit supporters on Water Street. Assistant Chief Constable Jenny Sims of Merseyside Police told a news conference 7 people will remain in the hospital after the incident. Before we go, here again are the highlights. The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced Saturday, July 20th and Saturday, August 8, 2026 respectively as dates for governorship elections in Ekiti and Osun states. Elsewhere, flights were temporarily disrupted at Liberia Main Airport last night after a private jet carrying President Joseph Boakai almost crashed while landing. In the Americas, United States Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said United States trade talks with China are a bit stalled and getting a deal over the finish line will likely need the direct involvement of President Donald Trump and Chinese President Xi Jinping. That was the world news on Radio Afinju. To view our channel, please follow Radio Afinju on Facebook, X and YouTube. The news was edited by Stella Adironti. My name is Tolulope Awoyale. Thanks for listening. Good evening.
That was the world news on Radio Afinju.
Idan kana neman labarin da ya cika, maganan siyasa,
akwai lokacin da zai kawo telecommunication,
wakokin zamani na kasa da na kasan waje, idan kana so ka